Hello everybody, and welcome to a new video. Today we're just going to be playing around real quick with these super capacitor boards that I got off of eBay. I ordered these months and months and months ago, and they just finally arrived. Now, what I'm going to be working on today is, we're going to be giving them status LEDs, and just basically showing you around what these boards do. Now this is a 16 volt supercapacitor module. On it, it has a bunch of, 2.7 volt 10 farad capacitors. Now these guys are all in parallel, or no, sorry. They're in series, which means their voltage ratings add, but their capacitance decreases. I didn't actually do the math, but it's basically 10 divided by 6, so 1 point something ish farads. Anyway, it holds a lot of energy, and in fact, I charged my boards up about 2 days ago, all the way to 16 volts. Let's see what the voltage is now. 7.78 volts. So it's dropped a little more than half. Well, no, just about half in 2 days, just from internal resistance. So that's actually pretty good for a supercapacitor board. So we're going to go quick into microscope vision here, and let's have a look at what goes on in here. Now, I've lost my super pointy pencil, so I'm going to have to use the tip of a pen. And you can see the tip of the pen in the microscope here is massive. Anyway, so this little guy here, this is a low voltage detector. And when the voltage is low, it produces a logic low on this pin here. When the voltage reaches a certain threshold, this pin goes high. In this case, I believe it's 2.5-ish volts. Anyway, so it measures the voltage across the capacitor. So you can see the trace from the positive lead of the capacitor comes here, and the negative lead of the capacitor is here. It measures the voltage across here. Oops, I got a little bit of ink on that chip, you can see it there. So when the voltage exceeds a certain amount, this pin goes high, and it's an instantaneous switch too. It just goes pink and it's on. It doesn't gradually change. Anyway, so over here, the trace comes over here. We've got a pull-up resistor, a very high value, 30K, so it basically looks like a logic low. And it comes over to the gate of this MOSFET. Now when you pull the gate of that MOSFET high, the drain and the source open up, and we've got the drain coming up here to this resistor, 4.7 ohms, and that goes down to the other side of the capacitor. So basically it opens between the this is the negative lead of the capacitor. The negative lead of the capacitor is connected to the source, and the positive lead comes up here through this trace to the other side of this 4.7 ohm resistor, and it basically puts this resistor here across the leads of the capacitor and keeps it from overcharging when you put 16 volts across that. So it's a neat little circuit. I've noticed when I've been testing them that it does tend to go a little higher than the rated voltage of the capacitor, but only by about 0.2 of a volt before it kicks in, so it's not too bad. Anyway, so I saw Julian Eilert, another electronics YouTuber that I follow, play around with something similar to these, and he added LEDs across these resistors to basically indicate the charging status of the supercapacitor board. Now, it's somewhat of a long and arduous process, so here's one that I made earlier. Oops. Now, I'm going to just go ahead and zoom down on this and see if I can... There we go. So, you can see that I've taken these little surface mount LEDs and I attached them to the resistors with a little bit of super glue, and then I just soldered on a couple of leads to either side. It took some trial and error to figure out how to do that, but I was very pleased with the result. So let's go ahead and have a little bit of fun here and charge up one of these supercapacitors. Let me just grab some things that I should have had prepared already. Alright, so we'll take the positive lead. Oops. Maybe this one isn't going to work. There we go. Positive lead to plus. I've just got a little, some resistors here to sort of clamp down on the charging rate. And then we'll take the negative lead and we'll put it across there. And we'll go ahead and grab the multimeter as well. And this is me being completely prepared. Let's remove the standard probe leads and put some alligator clip leads on instead. So we'll go ahead and we'll clamp that guy on there and clamp this guy on here, switch that to voltage, and yeah, still reads 7.6 volts. Oh, that's going down. Why is that going down? Oh, I've got these backwards. I'm glad I connected the voltmeter so I could actually see that starting to go down so I didn't damage the board. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and... Whoops. I just did a bunch of that way out of focus. I'm sorry, folks. Oh well. The important part is not out of focus now. Anyway, so we're going to watch the voltage climbing here. It's climbing fairly rapidly. I can always increase it by pulling one of these resistors, but... Oh no, that'll decrease the charging rate. Okay, this is not going as well as I thought. Hang on a moment, I will be right back after I tweak the circuit some. Alright, a little bit of tweaking and figuring out what I was doing wrong. I had a PEBCAC error, basically. Problem exists between keyboard and computer, or whatever that... Problem exists between keyboard and chair. That's what it is. Anyway, so now it's charging up nice and quickly. So 14 volts, 15 volts. We're going to start seeing some activity in the LEDs here shortly. Oh, there we go. There's one lighting up. And what about these two? There we go. So you'll see they're just kind of strobing on and off there as the circuits kick on and off to maintain the voltage of the capacitors at an appropriate amount. And it's nice to have the LEDs sitting there flickering because we can actually see that not only is the charge protection circuit working, we can see that all of the capacitors in the bank are appropriately charged. So anyway, that's just a quick look at that. We're going to be messing with these a lot more in a future video, but I just wanted to show these off real quick. So Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, go ahead and click right about here for the subscribing. Right over here is a video that YouTube thinks you'll find interesting. Over here is the what would I put this in? I guess I'll put it in the prototypes playlist. And right over here is my Patreon link, which you can use to help support further videos like this one. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.